Okay, everyone, welcome. Hope you enjoy your dinner. We're going to begin our meeting. It's great to see everyone again. We have a great presentation tonight, but a little bit of business before we start. We start every meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, so I invite you to stand and say Pledge of Allegiance with me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you. Just one note, many of us knew Bob Milliken very well. He was a regular member here at our meetings. Just remember and give condolences to his family and his passing in November. If we just honor a moment of silence on his behalf. Thank you. This will be in the profile as well for you to share and reflect on his life as well. So. I just want to recognize our officers that are among us here. If you're one of the officers or on the directors in attendance tonight, please stand. We'll just say hi to you. Eric Moritz, there we go. Directors and officers, thank you for your contributions to our committees and everything. And Eric is kind enough to remind me that we are opening up nominations again for directors, as we do every year. They'll be doing in February. So if you would like to volunteer as a director, we always look forward to new applications, new people to get involved, new ideas, and energy to contribute towards our section. So please consider that and put in your nominations. Our charity of the month is Toys for Tots. There's envelopes on your tables. Most of the tables, if you get a chance, just pass those around if you haven't already. And it's a chance to make a donation for a great organization for those that are less fortunate than us. So thank you for your donations to the charity. As far as announcements for our next meetings, January 14th, we have our next section meeting at the West Shore Country Club with a speaker is going to be Melissa Batula. So let's mark that on your calendars. It's going to be a great event, and we're looking forward to that. Hear what she has to say. February 17th, we're going to have a social event at Trogs Brewery. And in May, this is tentative. We're planning at this point to hold the ASHE PennDOT Turnpike Spring Conference. Still in the works of planning it, but it looks like it'll be in May. So there'll be more information coming out in that regard. But at this point, we are planning to have maybe a pared down version of our past events that we've done before. So keep a lookout for that. Nominations. I'm going to ask Paul if he wants to come up and share a little bit more about Project of the Year, Members of the Year, any announcements that you would have for that.
Good evening. Thank you, Chase. Yeah, Project of the Year applications, nominations for both the National, ASHE, and Harrisburg section awards are due, I think, December 22nd. That's right around the corner. Right today, I have no applications and nominations. So if you've got a project you think is worth an award, you might win it, because I have none right now. No, it's a great event. We recognize the awards at the June meeting. We also gave out our scholarships to the students. So it's a great opportunity for you to have your firm recognized and your staff recognized and worked on some great projects here in District 8, which is really the boundaries of ASHE Harrisburg. So if you do have questions about the application, nominations, submittal criteria, just give me a call or email me at KCI. I'll be glad to discuss it with you and help you out all I can. So thank you. Also, ASHE National has various awards that nominations are being accepted for now through January, I think 20th or so. There'll be there was an announcement in the profile on this, but the Robert E. Pearson Award, the Young Member of the Year, the Member of the Year Life Achievement Award. So if you know an ASHE member that's deserving of one of these awards, you can go on the ASHE National website. You can download the criteria and the application material, and you have to submit it to the section in order to be considered. And I chair the awards committee, so we'll have a committee review those, and then we will forward those to national for consideration. So with that, it's a good opportunity to be recognized, to recognize your fellow colleagues, and recognize various projects that all of us are proud to work on. So thank you, Jason.
Photo contest. If you have project photos that you'd like to submit, we're looking for applicants to submit their photos. So same thing, deadlines no later than the January, I think, what did I say, 14th, 13th meeting. So please submit your photo contest by then. And Alan, do you want to make some announcements on the ASHE scholarship? Some great ideas that we've been discussing a lot. So thanks.
Thank you, Jason. This year, we're going to take a little bit of a turn in our scholarships. We've been handing out, obviously, a lot of really great scholarships to students over the years that are heading into engineering, primarily into civil engineering. And this year, we're taking a turn. We're looking at more holistically to the highway industry, and we're expanding and going to be having 2 more buckets in addition to the civil engineering or the engineering program. We're going to be offering scholarships to 4-year track students that are going into like environmental sciences or other sciences that do end up working in the highway industry in very key roles as part of our world. And in addition to that, we're also going to be looking at the construction industry, construction inspection, as well as operators, and looking to see what we can do for people that have aptitudes that are heading into like 2-year tracks of learning or on that side of the scale as part of all the work that we do on the design side, as well as delivering projects in the construction side. So we'll be looking to start advertising what the buckets look like here, probably maybe the end of this month or beginning of January. The actual applications will open up sometime in the April timeframe, with the due date beginning probably like April 1st is probably going to be like around the due date timeframe. So if you know anybody that happens to be going towards a 4-year track that's a non-engineering, or maybe even someone that might be heading towards 2-year track, surveying, construction inspection, or anything like a CDL license that would lean themselves for operations of track codes or whatever, let them make sure that they're aware, and this information will be available on our website. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Just another reminder, social media, we have a LinkedIn account, so look for our LinkedIn posts that we put out there, Facebook, YouTube. This video is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube, so if you can find that later in all of our past meetings as well. So at the end, we'll do the 50-50 and the door prize. So with that, I'd like to welcome us all to welcome Chris Durda and Steve Moore to share the District 8 update. Chris, do you want to go first, and then so thanks.
Sure, take that. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take a couple minutes. I don't want to take away from Steve's presentation, but I am retiring here very soon. So I can assure you we do have a plan, and anybody that knows Mike Kaiser can be rest assured whoever come in acting after me will do a great job. I talked to several of you. I know a lot of you know already who it is, but I will tell you this, it's someone very good. The new acting position will start here right after the first of the year. Also, I just started with some other DEs interviewing for the AD position that's been vacant. We're doing the first rounds of interviews this week, and ultimately, if you don't know this, when you're apply for an executive level position, you also have to go to central office. So I anticipate the AD for design position being announced probably sometime in February. I would like to personally thank Steve Moore. He's been my right-hand man since March. Since March, I believe. Steve stepped into the role of acting ADE and also doing his other position, and I believe also doing the design services. So several times he was doing 3 positions. So I thank you for that, Steve. Anybody that's ever been in a meeting with Steve and I, Steve's very good. He supports me. If I say something wrong, he'll always correct me. And probably one of the most questions I've been asked tonight is, Chris, how many more days to retire? And my response was 9. And right away, Steve corrected me and says, no, actually it's 8. So I don't know if Steve's helping me out here or just counting the days with the other people in the district.
Unless you're still charging, you're conducting the days. Count the day off.
On a personal note, I truly appreciate everybody's assistance over the 35 years, whether I've been in consultant agreements and helping me better understand the consultant community or the project delivery when I was out in District 8. One thing I've learned is in the acting DE position, we do a lot of great things, but it really comes down to the people in the communities. And speaking with the legislators and the communities, these are safety projects, very important projects for the community, and they are very thankful. That doesn't mean that during the public meetings, a lot of them come up to you and say, what the heck are you thinking, Chris, you drinking? But they are appreciative. So, and just one last thing, I can assure you I'll still be involved with ASHE. So thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. We'll see how rested I am since I haven't done this for, I guess, probably at least 2 years, if not closer to 3 years. So, just before I get into it, when Jason and then Paul were speaking, I got to thinking, one slide I forgot to add was really thanks to you for 2021. I don't remember what our lighting we let this year. We're usually about 10% of the goal. So, I think the statewide goal we're at 1.9 billion for the year, and we ended up sneaking a couple of jobs here at the end of the year. Got a couple extra jobs in. I appreciate all your help on that. And if you do have a job here on our, I guess the last letting of the month, I think there's about 150, maybe closer to $250 million out there in advertisements right now. So if you do if addendums are coming out, I'll just throw a shot there, get them in fast, and that's probably for all the districts. So and they were warning us about addendum Monday. So you can do that. That help us out. So Chris kind of already touched on this a little bit, but I'll just kind of follow up. With the other 3 there, of course, Rich Dean, our design services engineer, retired earlier this year. I think with Chris's pending retirement, he didn't really want to replace his position, so we're holding on that to the new ADE comes in on board. John Kimport, our chief of surveys, just retired before Thanksgiving. We went through actually 2 postings of that position and have got no takers so far within the the Commonwealth system. So we'll probably going out on the street for that. So you all know how important of a position that is. So we're hoping to get that in fill here pretty soon. And then I'm going to have a turnover in highway design again. Steve Howell, some of you was not too far promoted here. Took a promotion to another agency, so he'll be moving on at the beginning of the year. So here's some other changes that have occurred in the district. Of course, we have a new AD for maintenance, Dale Good. If you know Dale was our Dauphin County manager. He was Lebanon County manager before that. Dale's a really good guy, knows a lot about maintenance, knows a lot about the county. So he's a real good guy to work with. Megan Palmer. We brought Megan in from, I'm not remember what agency she worked for. Jesse Sabitsky moved on from our environmental lead on our NEPA side, moved over in the central office to more in the endangered species side. So he's still working with us on a lot of stuff, but a little bit more of a focus that he wanted there. We had of course the trickle down effect. I think Ben shared with you kind of the where we were last year. We had some new senior project managers promoted. The trickle down effect is, we moved Farron Birch up, who was our traffic work zone guy. Matt McDevitt, who's one of our civil engineers in our highway side, and then Lindsey Volker on our bridge side, or some of our new PMs they're still pretty fresh here, just really about 9 months or so. And of course, then the trickle down effect is when we moved Farron up, his old position came up. So Matt Drunkenmill, if you know, and Matt was one of our construction managers, so I think that's a good fit there. Matt brings the construction side into that work zone area, knowing what goes on out in the field. So I think that's a good fit there. And for those of you who don't work in Adams or Franklin County, we got a new ace down there. Alan High retired, so Terry Kohler. Terry was in the lab for years. Was in the QA side. He was in district 8 years ago. So some new faces there for us in the district. I'll talk a little bit about, you probably got this from our managers, but I thought I'd just kind of give you a little bit of a change that we made on the highway side, and I did this more wearing my highway engineers hat than the AD's hat. There again, you've probably seen this before. We got 4 senior managers. They manage the big projects, the interstates, the complicated stuff, the sensitive stuff. I always say, Mark Guns, if you don't know Mark, Mark is great on those context sensitive jobs and stuff like that. He really just loves them, and I'm glad we have him, because I don't think anybody else could do the job that Mark does. You work with Mark before. He just really digs into those jobs and really gives the community what they're looking for. Then we have 9 project manager 2s underneath them who manage really the rest of the jobs, and then we got about 15 civil engineers and technicians that really handle our in-house work. So where the change kind of came is how you're really distributing our work to our in-house staff, and this was kind of a lot of reasons behind this. One of the first is as we change over ORD, open roads design, and really heading into digital delivery. We were struggling on the highway side and struggling to implement it, and I was getting a lot of response from the civil engineers that, it was hard. They didn't know what they were doing and things like this. And, one says it's hard, one says, oh, that works. And somebody tells me it doesn't work. And so I was having a whole lot of trouble figuring out what was really the truth to the matter. And I thought, I'm going to have to, I think we need to make a change here. And so, we kind of flip-flopped around. So we're some of my, supervisors now are really going to have a little bit more of a lead role in the in-house designs and more of a focus there. And my hope is that they can get a little bit more involved in the ORD side and the actual design of our in-house jobs, to not only raise their abilities, because they are our future in the district, but to help out with the switch over and as we go into digital delivery, looking back, I was back when I took over the highway design seat from Mike, and when Mike Kaiser went down to District 5, we weren't doing a whole lot of pipes even with our resurfacing job. We were pretty good shape, and we had made I can remember when I came into PennDOT and 24 years ago, we had made a pretty big dent on them before I got there, and now it just seems like every job we do is we got to replace pipes, and of course now you start throwing in Sioux, if you're in any area where you have underground utilities, it's just kind of spiraling on us a little bit. So you saw where we went out and did a couple open end for task specific, one for surveys, one for Sioux, and that is really to help us out on our in-house side and really to facilitate our design and what we're doing in there. And there again, trying to bolster that in-house design. So, so we have some really good experience there to promote people into future positions. If you saw Chris and my ACCPA presentation a few months back, this was the same slide. I just pulled it right back out. But I thought it was good to show it again, especially just after the passing of the Jobs Act. Did update, like I said, I just made the note there at the bottom that, it doesn't account for that, but everybody keeps asking us, where's that, whatever it is. I'm still not sure if we know for sure if it's 4 billion or 300 million or whatever it is, but this is just us. This is just District 8, what we have, and really unmet needs, across the district. And if you, like I said, if you saw the ACEC presentation, there was a lot of stuff in there that came to that $9.2 billion there, but it is still, we have room to spend it without really looking too hard. This is nothing new to anybody in this room or online. But every year we do, as part of our plans, we do a presentation to the Interstate Committee. And I guess for those who don't know, the Interstate funds are controlled by a PennDOT only committee. So we do a presentation to them every year, highlighting our needs, highlighting our interstates, or every 2 years. And this is just I thought I'd just pull a few slides out and share them with you tonight. There again, nothing new, nothing you haven't seen before. We've got some out-of-date interchanges on our interstates. We got some converted highways. We got a single lane in the Eisenhower interchange here in Dauphin County, and we have 7 port bridges on our interstates. And I think for the most part those are all programmed and funded. And as part of that, I always like to show this slide because Chris will say sometimes his counterparts across the state, or I guess my counterparts now complain that we get too much money or get too much of the good stuff. So, and I always like to show this to show, we are continuing to grow here in South Central Pennsylvania. The numbers are 2018, so the numbers are a little old, but it's still right. We're continuing to grow. Cumberland, Lebanon are continuing to grow. The South Central part of the state is continuing to grow. So I always like to show that when I go to the Interstate Committee, just to keep that in front of them to make sure that they know that we are growing here still. So. Just thought this there again. I just thought I'd highlight just some non-big jobs. These are just mostly resurfacing jobs, pavement preservations. There's a couple of bridge projects there. Probably the biggest one is the 81 Walnut Bottom Road bridges there, 25 million. Hoping to get some interstate funds, so at least get started on PE. That's the bridge there at Carlisle. Try to get those. The one bridge is really in bad shape. We really just want to go in and replace them and get those out of the way. As we look towards the more interstate widening that our planning partners are looking at, which I think you've all kind of seen that before. So I'm going to jump around here a little bit tonight. Schedules and cost estimates. I do want to take a little bit more focus in the next year with schedules. We know your SOIs all say you're going to do them. Scope works all say you're going to do them. You know how many times I ask a project manager, and we're going through our quarterly reviews with them right now. What's the schedule? So, well, I haven't got it yet from my consultant. So I'm here to say I want them. I need them. I want you guys to put them together. We're trying to do our best to make sure we don't got let dates out there that aren't attainable. I think a couple of years ago we got stuck with some out there that really weren't, and we're doing our best. But really tell us when you can let that job. Tell us what you need, how much time you need. If you tell us that when you start the job, our planning and programming manager can work the money around. We've got really, we got three big MPOs, four big MPOs, and we can move stuff around pretty good in them. But our Adams and Franklin and Lebanon MPOs, we don't have much time. We don't have much money in them. It's hard to move jobs late in the game if we can't deliver a job. So I just ask you to take that into next year and and really think about that as you're going through. Like I said, I'd like to know tell me what you can let the job in. That's what I want to know. Don't just say we think we can get it there. I want to know. And then we'll do our best to accommodate that. We may have to ask you to speed one up or slow one down, but we'll work with that. Construction cost estimates. Got hit this year with a couple substantial increases in construction costs. And as Chris noted, he's interviewing for the AD position. So my interview was this morning. So that was one thing that I highlighted as something that I want to make improvements to. I think we'll probably look at, adding a WBS task in there in your scope of works to include that. We want those costs updated every 6 months. We went one job that went from design field view about 7 million to 16 million at pre-PS&E. So I'm not sure how we missed that. I think we added some work in there, but then we have to go back to the MPO. We have to go back to our central office and kind of ask for the money, and it doesn't look good for us to have to ask for that money at the end. It's understandable sometimes that you kind of get you add stuff to the job and things get added in, but we need to be more cognizant of that as we go through this year. And even though we got more money, it's not necessarily we don't just have a lot of places to spend it. Constructability, maintainability. This is actually right in accordance with DM1X, Appendix N. It's not just a one-time deal. It is something that we need to do, and I think we have done in the district. I know Mike Kaiser would always say we do it. We used to do it all the time. Make sure we're always building the right job. Designing the right job. But we just really formalize the process. I actually wrote the policy, so if anybody has any problems with it, you can come and see me, and I'll tell you all about it. I think I went through at least 6 iterations on it, working back and through with the AD for construction and the AD for maintenance. And I know you'll look at that one there. It says 60%. Say what is that? And that was the compromise to things that they wanted and how they saw. Well, we need to know more early and things like that. And my message to them was, it's like somewhat be careful what you're asking for here. If you take, for the most part, we average about 100 jobs a year in design, give or take. And I said, you just multiplied that by every job by 5 or 6, and now you got 500 or 600 meetings a year that your staff have to now attend to. And we're already doing most of this, like I said. So it is very much like I said, it everyday thing. It's just not that one stop at the end there where we get together. A lot of their complaints are, well, we get to a job at the end and we say, well, what about this or what about that? And the manager say, well, we have a let date we have to meet. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. We got money we have to spend. We were talking at the table there. Mike Gillespie told me one time, that is kind of our job. We get taxpayer money to spend, and we need to make sure we're spending it judiciously, but we get it to spend, and you're all part of that. So ask you to work with us on this. I know that 75% there. I know there's some stuff there that we don't all know at that time. Mike used to kind of say once in a while, sometimes you got to let the train run off the track. So I'm going to kind of let this one run off the track. Maybe we'll see. We're probably about 6 months or into this. We'll reevaluate it as after maybe into next year sometime with the other 2 ADs and see where it's going and see what's working. I think there's a lot of value to getting them out early. They hired a consultant to come in and really shepherd that for them on their side. So hopefully we're getting some good feedback from them on that. But like I said, it is important, and we're trying to work through it. We're trying to give them constructible jobs. I mean, I know, and I'm sure some of you here on the inspection side, they're constantly being told to reduce work orders. Well, how do you reduce work orders? Well, you have to have a better design, because if the design isn't good, then they've got work orders all the time. Some things are unavoidable. So on our construction or maintenance side, we'll say we missed a pipe or something like that. And something, sometimes we do, and we have to do our best to kind of catch up with that. So I just ask for your help on that as we go through here for the next year. 2022 lending program. I think if the Jobs Act wouldn't have been passed the week it was, I think at APC that week, I think Mike was probably announcing somewhere around a $2 to $2.2 billion lending goal. So, the Jobs Act added that, $378 million of additional capacity of that this year. Our allotment of that was 30 million. So that takes us up to somewhere about $227 million for our next year's lending program. So I think if you step back to what we were going through an exercise right before APC, looking at a 2.2 lending program, we were basically cutting off the last quarter of the year. We were done in September. Everything that was in October, November, December was being deferred to the following year. So for the most part, we're really not adding a whole lot of work to 2022 from your side. But as I said here a few minutes ago, we are in that process of meeting with all the managers right now. So you'll be getting calls to them of early jobs in 2023 asking, can you move them up just in case. We have a couple of things in the pipeline. We think we'll be able to make that up. We're easy to be able to make that up. We're just kind of moving some stuff around. We probably lose a couple of jobs, and so very, very important here. I think I have until Wednesday, or we have till Wednesday to get that in, so that you may get called with a pretty quick answer about, hey, can we move this up a month or so? We were talking to a couple of staff this morning, so you can expect those calls here in the next couple of days. Hopefully we'll get through everybody here and be able to make those decisions. But I appreciate your help on those. Like I said, we got the money now. Now we don't like to leave any money on the table, so we'll soak up every bit of that 227 million that we can next year. Locked in. I don't know if you remember us talking about this years ago. COVID kind of got us out of this, but we're locking in our 2022 program. So that means for whoever becomes the next acting DE and the next ADE, if they miss a let date by more than 30 days, they get a ding on their scorecard. So I don't. So we're asking those questions a lot too, the managers. Asking that of you too, if you got a let date, we need to hit it. You got 30 days, which is really, if you look at our letting channel, it isn't really 30 days, and in some cases it's usually only 28 days. And as you get later in the year, it's not even 28 days because there's only one letting in November. So if you have a job in December and you can't make November, then I'm plus 30 days. So so we're working on that. I don't think we have to lock into the end of the year, so we've got a little bit of time there, but we're still also trying to balance out the all the funding on the 2022 side. So like I said, just be aware of that. Those will be some of the questions that the staff will be asking here in the next day or so. I'm just going to touch briefly on what I know about 2023 TIP development. We just got financial guidance issued last week. Actually, I think it was just last Tuesday. So, added the Jobs Act, obviously added money back into that. I think it was, like I said, 378 this year. I think it's 420, 421 next year, something like that. That's getting added back in. Of course, the biggest thing that I saw out of was we had some additional bridge funding. So that, our bridge engineers is definitely looking at adding some more bridges to the TIP. I think in talking with our planning and programming manager before the Jobs Act, a couple of our MPOs weren't really adding much work next year, and in fact, maybe no work at all. So, the Job Act is helping us out, help you out. And we're definitely coming out with some more jobs on the street next year that we weren't expecting. So, I'll let the other central office staff and people really explain it to you, because I have not had a chance to digest it fully. Probably what you all were waiting for, right? Consultant agreements. So, excuse me. I asked Ben just to kind of give me a snapshot of what he was given. I didn't have any agreement numbers there. I'm not sure he's got agreement numbers yet. Just a couple of safety projects there in a couple counties, another couple intersection projects. Normanwood Bridge study. If you're not familiar with that bridge, is down in the southern part of York and Lancaster County, fracture critical bridge. We had to do some retrofit on it years ago. And some more open-end agreements, general open-end agreements, bridge inspections. Environmental units. This is one thing I did forget to talk about on the environmental side is we've lost some staff in that area too. We lost two of our environmental planners to DCNR here just here the last 6 months. They have a retirement in the area, so our environmental unit, especially on the NEPA side, is going to pretty much flip over here just in about the last 2 years. So we'll probably be looking at some additional assistance for that. And the one individual there, Brad Burford, was a wetland specialist, but he also was good on stormwater, so he was doing a lot of our stormwater stuff. So we may be looking at some stormwater inspection help too. So I think that's all I have. So I'll open the floor up for any questions anybody has. All right, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Very good information for us to take into the new year, and we look forward to the next appointments for ADE and DE and meeting all the new staff in the coming year in their new roles. So thank you for that. We've got a couple of things. We're going to do the 50/50. So if you have your red tickets, the amount is 158. Yeah. Steve, do you want to pick the number for us? Yeah, this is a red ticket for 50/50. The number is 491168. There we go. You can see us afterwards and like that. This is for the door prize. We are going to have 2 door prizes, which is a bottle of wine, ashy wine, the finest of the best. So the ticket number for door prize is blue ticket 217871. All right, there's Ryan. Here we go. Okay, one more ticket here. It's 217860. Okay. Okay, that's the end of our program. Just reminder, our next meeting is January 14th at the West Shore Country Club. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you to Steve, Chris, and have a good evening. Safe travels.